everyone, welcome to the next installment of Karchermakes Vlogmas, and this one's going to cover days 9 through 13. So at the time I'm filming this, it's Friday the 13th. I've not seen any black cats, I haven't seen any hockey masks yet, but the day is still young, so we shall see. So I'll insert here days 9 through 12, all of the advent openings, all of the fun festive makes, and then I'll meet you back here and we're going to talk about day 13. Day 9, and we're going to start with Rising Tide Fiber Company today. So yesterday's was blue, and today's is blue, purple, tiny bit of green, little yellow moment going on right there. And this colorway is called Lollipop Woods. How pretty is that? I love it. So next up, FrogIt yarns. So yesterday's was kind of a paley, purpley, lilac-y, and today's is just continuing down that gradient theme, with a little bit more saturation in the speckles, but still feeling blue, but starting to border on purple for sure. So there is day 9 of FrogIt yarns. And here they are together. I think these would be quite lovely in a project together. They're not going to be, but I think they would be pretty together. Advent day 10. Let's start with Rising Tide Fiber Company today. So this is a very sort of pale aqua with some really fun red and lime green speckles, and this is giving me all the vintage vibes and I love it. So this one is called Grandma Nut. So there's that. Now let's do FrogIt yarns. Ooh, okay. So this is a sort of steely bluish gray color, and it looks like it has some speckles there. Interesting. So yesterday's was this sort of purpley color, and then here's today's, and we're just kind of going into this like more gray. Almost, it has some like bluish but also purplish vibe to it, where yesterday's was more purpley. This is more grayish, but I love how this looks. I love how the colors are progressing for both of these advents, by the way. So happy with both of these. So there we have it. Day 10. I can't believe Christmas is in a little over 2 weeks. I'm I'm not ready at all. It's officially 2 weeks until Christmas. Let's open some Advents. Day 11. Starting with Rising Tide Fiber Company. Ooh, it's a really pretty red with just the littlest hints of pink and some speckles. And this colorway is called Peppermint Forest. So, although I love the look of peppermint and candy canes, I love the colors, I love the color of this yarn, I can't stand peppermint. It's just something about the taste of peppermint that does not play well with me. So, not my favorite flavor, but it is a beautiful color. Okay, up next, FrogIt yarns. Ooh. So yesterday was kind of a palish gray, purplish gray, and this is kind of an even paler version with some more of the speckles. Look at that. Love it. So here we are for day 11. Day 12, and I almost grabbed day 13 by accident. That would have been kind of a disaster. Not really. Day 12. Less than 2 weeks, y'all, till Santa comes. Hope you're ready. Starting with Rising Tide Fiber Company today. It's pretty deep red. And this one is called Cherry Pitfalls. I'm gonna have to get the new Candyland game so that I can see all these references. Do you think 22-year-olds would want to play Candyland with me? Probably not, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Forced family fun. Next up, FrogIt yarns. Ooh, we're going into paler shades of gray now. This one is still very speckly, which I love. I love speckles. Like, I feel like the trend for yarn is going more into solids and semi-solids right now, but speckles will always have my heart. There we go. Here we are with day 12, not day 13. Okay, now we're back. It's day 13 and we have some fun project updates to talk about. So first, this past week, as you could see, was very low-key for us. The end of year for me at work is quite busy. We're working on wrapping up a lot of our end of year activities and then really starting to plan for the beginning of 2025. So that's been really consuming a lot of my time, although I did take a half a day today because I needed to run some errands and get some holiday things ready to go. But aside from that, we did take the dogs for their grooming appointment this week to get them all ready for Santa, and they're pretty excited. I think at least Marcus is on the naughty list, but we'll see what Santa does there. So let's start with all the projects I've been working on during Advent this week. So we will let's start with the mystery Gnome along, and this is a mystery knit along hosted by Imagine Landscapes, and like I've mentioned before, it's a clue every day, but not every day is a knitting clue. So one of the days this week, and I think I put some footage in of it, it was a coloring page, and it's so cute, and I have an iPad, so I plan on playing with that in Procreate later, but we did have 1 or 2 knitting clues this week, and we got to use our color number 3, or C, and for me, that's this super fun pink, red, green yarn from Teeny Button Studios, and I unfortunately no longer have the tag for this, and it is either Son of a Nutcracker or it's Cotton-Headed Ninny Muggins, and I'm not sure which. They're both elf themed, obviously, but I got to work with this one this week and it was very fun. So these were our 2 clues. So first we cast on here, I'm gonna flip it down. We cast on here at this ribbing and worked this way to make what looks like a long stocking cap. And then what the pattern asked us to do was to flip this ribbing up, and then we worked downward in this direction. So I'm not sure what we're doing here. Is this maybe like a sweater, and then this will be the hat, and then the face will be somewhere in here? Is this going to be the actual head and face? I don't know. We're gonna learn together though. And the next knitting clue came out this morning. I downloaded it, but I haven't really gotten into it. It did look like color work. As I downloaded it, I saw there was a chart. So I think there may be some color work in this section, or maybe it's starting a new section. I'm not even sure if we're continuing on here, but really looking forward to that. These are really fun to do. They're super easy, and even with some of the more complicated parts, and it's really not that complicated, but for example, where we had to flip this ribbing up and pick up stitches, there's a video for that, which I find very helpful. I'm a very visual learner, and when I'm doing something that I'm not quite sure about and I've never done before, having a video is very helpful. So there's that. And I do want to mention that I have this in my bag that I got last year from Polka Dot Creek. It came with their 24 Canadian Dyer Advents that was Christmas Vacation themed. All-time favorite Christmas movie, by the way. Maybe second favorite, only to Muppets Christmas Carol. But look how cute this is. And the bags are made by Sew Shannon, and phenomenal job on these. It's like metal here, so it has a lot of structure, and there's pockets inside, and I love it. And that's where my gnome is gonna live until they're done. So next up, socks. Freckled Whimsy, Merry and Bright. I love these. I said this in the last probably 2-3 videos. I love these so much. I really do. look at these. Now, you will notice or maybe you didn't notice and now I'm just outing myself, but in the footage from during the week, days 9 through 12, I apparently did not work on these one of those days, because when I went to go work on this yesterday, I counted my stripes because I want 13 stripes before my heel and I wanted to see where I was. I didn't have enough stripes. I was off by 1. So I apparently did not knit on these one day this week. And I guess when I go to edit this, I'll figure out what day I missed. But look how nice these are. And knitting them tandem, size US 2.5. And of course, I shared this on the last video when I opened up my FrogIt yarns advent. There was a goodie bag and it was stitch marker, so of course I had to immediately use that. So there are the socks. So today is day 13, which means I now have to add the heel, and I'm gonna either have to do that when I get home later tonight or tomorrow before I add the next stripe. But I am ready for the heel, and I talked about this too. I think I'm gonna do a shadow wrap heel just because I feel like that will use the least amount of yarn, and I only got the 25 gram, I think it's 25 gram mini with these. So I want to be a little conservative about it just so I can leave some room for the toe in case I need it. But I think I'm gonna do the shadow wrap heel. Stacy from Nook Knits on Instagram, she just posted that she was doing her heel. So I messaged her and asked her like, hey, what heel are you doing? And she did the Eye of Partridge and it looks amazing. I just don't know if I'm gonna have enough of this to do a heel flap and gusset. Not sure. Next year, if Freckled Whimsy offers these again, which I hope they do, because phenomenal. I would probably get a bigger mini next time for sure. But there they are, and they're amazing. Okay, up next, and y'all, this project is everything. I love it, and I'm really kind of sad that I hadn't tried to knit with my hand spun before. And I've knit with hand spun before. Please let me be clear. I've knit with hand spun, I think 2 or 3 times before. But the way this is turning out, like, I love it. So this is the Shift Cowl by Andrea Mowry, Drea Renee Knits. And I'm using 3 different skeins of my hand spun yarn here. And this is where we were the last time I showed it. Down here, I had just started it, but look at this. Look how fun this is. And I'm really to the point where, so she also has a sweater pattern of this like shift design where it's the slip stitches, and I kind of want to spin for that. I don't think I have enough yarn of similar weights, like I'm using it in this project, to do the sweater version, but definitely something that's piqued my interest to possibly spin for. And what I find interesting about this is really the colors and how they're playing together. So number one, this is looking maybe super bright on the screen, but that's a bright red. Red is not something I work with often, if at all. So I just find it interesting how these colors are playing together. And just for your reference, these are the yarns. So this one is my color A. It's very red and blue. This one is color C, and it's more neutrals with little pops of color. And then my color B, which is currently not being used, is more rainbow. I would call this rainbow. Sure, let's go with rainbow. This is more rainbow effects yarn. And again, I just love how the three of those, I would normally not put those colors together, but in this project, I think it works. So there's that. So I do want to start another bauble this weekend. May just do number 2 from the pattern book. I'm not sure yet. We will see. I need to pick a color for it first and then decide. But otherwise, I'll be obviously working on the socks every day. Hopefully every day if I remember. And then definitely going to spend hopefully a significant amount of time working on the cowl because that's been really fun. So now that project talk is over, let's open day 13. And today we'll start with FrogIt yarns. Lucky 13. Let's see what we have today. So the last couple days we were leaning very gray and with like charcoal speckles. So let's see, is today a gray or is it another color? Ooh, it's not gray. We're going into the blues, and this is such a pretty blue. Like, it's got the tiniest hints of colorful speckles there, but overall it's giving blue, and it's almost like, I would call this like a cornflower maybe. I don't know, but it's really pretty, and I love it. So when I do the video for the weekend, I'm going to kind of follow the same format I followed last week, where during the week it's in one video and then the weekend's on a separate video. So I'll again show them all together so that you can see the color progression. But so happy with my Advent choices this year. They're great. Next up, Rising Tide Fiber Company. So with this one, we were in the reds. So let's see if we're continuing the red theme here. And as a reminder, this is Candyland theme 10-gram minis. Oh. Melissa, if you're watching, I need a sweater's quantity of this color. Look at this. It's pinks, it's purples, it has these little orange little pops. And it's amazing. And of course, I don't have the card with me with the colorway name on this one, but I'll put it below just so that you have the colorway name. But look at that. Amazing. Love it. So that's all I have for you for this week's installment of Karchermakes Vlogmas. And like I mentioned, there will probably be a video on Sunday to cover the 2 weekend days 14 and 15, and then, you know, Christmas is going to be here before we know it, and I don't know if you guys are ready, but I'm not ready for this to be done yet. I'm enjoying it too much. So thank you for watching, thanks for being here, and until next time, happy making.